Hey, welcome to Halloween Horror Grammar 2, and it's a Friday the 13th version. Okay, this will be published on Friday the 13th only because YouTube goes on Pacific Standard Time. But I'm doing this video right now at around 12:06 a.m. on Saturday the 14th. Okay, I wrote all these cards here that I'm going to show you in a second. I wrote on them on Friday the 13th, but had a couple problems to get this started here. I was hoping to actually do it on Friday the 13th, but at least Pacific Standard Time, it's still Friday the 13th, and this will be published on YouTube on Friday the 13th Pacific Standard Time. Okay, and at least the cards here were written on Friday the 13th. So here's the gang here. There's Banjo. Sylvia. Hey. There's Pepper. Hey, what's up? Minnie. Hello. How are you? Okay, and they're going to try to learn some grammar here with me. Try to learn some grammar. So, okay, all right, this would be the second version of it. You had the first, again, this is Halloween Horror Grammar, using the same card here, using the same card. See the first date, 10/10/17. All right, today 10/13/17. Okay, actually it's like now it's 10/14. Okay, Eastern Standard Time anyway. Halloween Horror Grammar 2. Okay, and there was the sentence that we went over the other day. Tens are wild. Okay, and that's because on the date 10/10/17, you could do a bunch of different things with it, and you can still come up with the number 10 on it. All right, so, all right, there we go. There, tens are wild. See, like you can go down to just the individual digits of the date, and we're still up to 10. And then 10 plus 10 plus 17 equals 37, but, you know, 3 plus 7 equals 10. If you go with the individual numbers on the 37. All right. So today, well, we can start off and learn something right here. I see this a lot, this word, okay? And no pun intended, but, you know, I do see this word a lot, spelled as one word, A-L-O-T, okay? And there's only one way to do this. So this is like just easy, you know, it's always separated, okay? It's always a space lot. A meaning like a quantity, like I ate a lot of food, okay? Or a lot as in like they built a house on a lot, okay? No matter which way you use it, for like quantity or for like property, it's still, it's spelled this way, a space lot. It's two words, okay? I guess it's a noun because lot, it's always used as a noun because when you separate the letter A from lot, A is like, well, it can be referred to as what is called a noun marker. Noun marker, okay? And see right here I have noun markers, a, and the. Okay, they're also known as adjectives. They're also known as articles. Okay, so noun markers, very simply, noun markers indicate a noun coming up. Okay, so a lot of times if you're not sure if a word is it an adjective, is it a noun, what is it? If you see an and the before it, that's a noun marker, and what's following is a noun. Okay, all right, so here it is, Halloween Horror Grammar, and here's one of the reasons why grammar is a horror, okay? Because it has too many rules. Now I keep looking over to the left and away from the camera because like I'm just looking at the front-facing screen and I'm reading the sentence, which on the camera it's all backwards. But like I know, you know what I wrote already. Otherwise, it might be really difficult for me to read what I wrote. Okay. Oh, hold on a second here. Okay. So we go right here. All right, grammar is a horror because it has too many rules. Okay? Okay, so we have grammar, subject. All right, the subject is always a noun. All right, is the verb. Okay, it's also known as a linking verb. Okay, that's something, you know, maybe you can look up and review. I'm just going to keep going here. All right, a, okay, all right, that's an adjective. Okay, we have 8 parts of speech. Excuse me. You have verb, noun, pronoun, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection. Okay, so every single word in the sentence you can break down to one of those 8 parts of speech. Okay, okay, so A is an adjective, and then horror, noun. Okay, now just what I was just talking about noun marker. A is not only an adjective, but it's also called, like I said, a noun marker. So what follows a noun marker but a noun? Okay, so, you know, if you're wondering, like, well, what is horror here in this sentence? It would be a noun simply if for no other reason that you would see the noun marker there and you would know it would be a noun. It could be an adjective at times, but like, you know, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Okay, Rocky Horror Picture Show, horror in that case would be an adjective. All right, but here it's a noun. Okay, and it's real easy to know it's a noun just because the adjective a comes before it, which is a noun marker. Okay, indicating that a noun is coming up. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't have moved my hand on the camera here because, you know, I'll put my hand back because sometimes that affects the sound. Okay, so moving on. Okay, because it has too many rules, grammar. All right, grammar is a horror. That's one sentence right there. That's an independent clause. Okay, because it has too many rules. Okay, is another clause. Okay, and it's called a subordinate clause. Okay, can't stand on its own. All right, it can't stand as an individual sentence because, all right, just say, for instance, that you only had this clause because it has too many rules. Okay, because it has too many rules, well, what do you mean? Because it has too many rules? What? You're expecting something to complete that thought. Okay, so it's introduced by a subordinating conjunction, and a subordinate clause is a dependent clause because it depends on another clause to complete the sentence. Okay, so the clause that completes the sentence is grammar is a horror. And excuse me, grammar is a horror because that's a complete sentence on its own. It's called an independent sentence, an independent clause. All right, it could stand on its own. It doesn't need any help. Okay, but because it has too many rules, that clause right there, because it has too many rules, can't stand on its own. So it needs help. It needs to be connected to an independent clause, which is also known as a main clause. Okay, so grammar is a horror, can stand on its own. Okay, because it has too many rules, that clause cannot stand on its own. And how do you know if a clause can stand on its own or not? Well, sometimes it's just because of a word. Okay, now the word because, the subordinating conjunction, makes the whole clause a dependent clause. If you take the word because out of this, okay, and you're only dealing with a sentence saying it has too many rules, right? You had a sentence, it has too many rules. That's fine. I mean, it makes sense, right? In a way, it's a complete thought. It has too many rules. Okay. It's a little awkward, but it can work. All right. It's only because you have a subordinating conjunction that the sentence now becomes dependent. Okay. But you take the word because out of it and just have a sentence, it has too many rules. that could work. I mean, it's acceptable. Like I say, it may sound like a little awkward, but it would still work. Okay, so it's because of the word because that whole clause is dependent, and it has to be connected to an independent clause. In this case, grammar is a horror. That's the independent clause that the subordinate clause beginning with the word because is connected to. Okay, all right, so let's go on here. And we have because is a subordinate conjunction. It is a pronoun. Okay, and with the P above the word it. Okay, indicating pronoun. Okay, has is a verb. To is an adverb. Modifying many, the adjective. Okay, an adverb can modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. In this case, it's modifying the adjective many. Okay, and rules is a noun, and the adjective many, adjectives modify nouns, so many is modifying the noun rules. Okay, so okay, grammar is a horror because it has too many rules. All right, and let's see what else I have here. Okay, so for review, stuff here is like, say, like a linking verb is good to know, because in this sentence here is also a linking verb. Okay, so what follows a linking verb can never be a direct object. So when you have like grammar is a horror, okay, because the verb is a linking verb, horror would be called a subjective complement. All right, so it's not a direct object. A direct object has to have an action verb that's transferring action over and to the direct object. The direct object is receiving action from an action verb. Okay, so that's why it's good. I don't want to get into linking verbs right now, but it'd be good, like, you know, maybe you can read up on linking verbs. Okay, subordinate conjunction, what I was talking about there. Subordinate conjunction, okay, they introduce a subordinate clause, and all subordinate clauses have to be connected to a independent clause, or what's called maybe a main clause. All right, in order for you to have a sentence, a subordinate conjunction introducing a subordinate clause on its own can't be the sentence. Okay, so that could be good to review too. You know, just, you know, maybe try to read up something on subordinate conjunctions. Okay, mention noun markers, a, an, and the. Okay, they indicate that a noun is coming up. So it's great to know that, because like it makes it easy when you're trying to figure out like what a word is. What is this? An adjective or noun? Okay, it's got a noun marker. It's going to be a noun. All right. Okay, so take care until next time. All right, and hopefully these guys learned something. Oh yeah, I got it all down, no problem. Okay, yeah, I got it all. All right, yeah, no problem. We're in trouble here with this kind of content here. You know, we're going down the tubes here on YouTube. We're not going anywhere with this. Hey, okay, all right, yeah, that was really interesting. Yeah, sure. Okay, all right. Until next time. This was the Friday the 13th edition of it. So this is an interesting week. You had Tens Are Wild on Tuesday, okay, where like you could put all the numbers in all these different combinations and it adds up to 10. And then follows up 3 days later, Friday the 13th. So this is like an interesting month, I guess, for me to launch this this new series of Halloween horror grammar. Okay, until next time, take care. Bye-bye.